I sneezed at one point and hurt myself.
Oh, yeah, we all had that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember reading at one point about a guy that sneezed and it literally ruptured one of his lungs and he died.
Oh, jeez.
And it's just like every time I sneeze now, I'm like, is this it? Is this the one that kills me?
So my heart's
is my heart just gonna stop now? Am I gonna have an aneurysm from this sneeze? It's great. I love it. Anyway, I have a follow-up about the Blu-ray player.
Yes.
So the last time we talked about this, I had mentioned that I had bought a external Blu-ray player
Right.
to use on my computer.
Yes, that was only a day or two ago.
Yeah, that was like yesterday. We talked about that. Well, I had the Blu-ray player. I went home. After we finished recording, I went home. I was like, all right, finally, I'm going to watch Lord of the Rings now.
Finally, at long last.
At long last. It's only been 21 years since that movie came out. I've watched it since then. It's just, I wanted to watch it this time. So I go home, I plug in the Blu-ray player. I think, it's probably just plug and play. So just plug this in. It uses 2 USB ports, which is a little weird, but whatever. Probably one for data, one for power.
Still weird, but okay.
Yeah.
I guess
because it doesn't have a separate power thing. So it's probably one USB for data, one for doesn't matter.
That makes sense, but it's still weird. You had no success though?
I can hear it going wink 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 wink.
It's trying.
Like it's trying to read the disc. I'm like, okay. So I go onto my computer, I find
a guide.
The disk drive. I find the disk drive on my computer. I click on it. Wink 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 wink. Please insert a disk into drive.
Still can't read it, huh?
All right, what the hell?
Was it upside down as well?
No, it wasn't. There was only one way to put the disc in this time. Okay, fine. Oh, the Blu-ray player came with a CD. All right, fine. Well, I guess I have to download whatever. I guess I have to use whatever program is on the CD to run this stupid little Blu-ray drive.
No, just gotta install a driver for the device.
Well, I go on the website. I go on LG's website because that's who I got it from. Which, by the way, I didn't know that LG was part of Hitachi.
I don't know.
Yeah, LG is so the same company. If you have an LG TV, the same company that makes your TV also makes that giant fuck off masturbator thing. The massager,
the massage one.
Yeah.
Yes. Comes with 3 settings. Didn't realize that.
Oh yeah, they got more than one. It's not like the only setting is Pussy Destroyer. They have other settings. They have gentle massage. You're gonna have trouble walking isn't the only setting on there.
I don't think if they're really legitimately trying to masquerade as a massage wand, that should be one of the settings.
Yeah. Anyway, diesel-powered Pussy Destroyer 9000 is the only setting available.
I'm gonna name my next computer that.
Pussy Destroyer.
Diesel-powered Pussy Destroyer.
So I'm like, all right, fine, I'll just download the drivers for this stupid thing. Well, as it turns out, you can't just download the drivers for it. You gotta download their program.
You gotta download drivers for the drivers?
You have to download their program. Fine. I'll just use the program that's on the disc. So I install the program that comes on the disc. I shit you not, it took 30 minutes to install it from the disc.
Okay.
Great. Fine.
Can we watch Lord of the Rings now?
Can I finally just watch Lord of the Rings, please? Let me watch Lord of the Rings. I have the HD Blu-ray disc. I have the player. Put the disc in the player. Yeah, that's not compatible with the... Oh my God, are you kidding me?
It's just not gonna work for you.
Are you kidding me? Yeah, it's not compatible. All right, fine. What is this other program that you forced me to install? It tells me if the Blu-ray player is compatible with my computer. Fine, run the program on there. Yeah, you can play Blu-ray discs, but you can't play HD Blu-ray discs on your computer.
I didn't realize there was a distinction.
Neither did I, but apparently it's a thing. I'm like, okay, fine. This is absolutely ridiculous. And I'm in my room just like fuming about this. And my girlfriend is like, are you okay? I'm trying to get this to work and it ain't fucking doing it.
You're probably about as good as you can be after having to do this for days on end. Just trying to watch the movie. Just days of troubleshooting.
Days of troubleshooting. I already have a Blu-ray player, but my PlayStation won't work. And the only reason I'm trying to do it, we have a TV. I could just go watch this in my living room, except that's where my girlfriend plays her PlayStation, is on the TV in the living room. and I'm trying to, I have a whole room that is mine. And I have a PlayStation 5 in there, so why the hell can't I just watch? And their solution is, why don't you just stop being poor and buy a third monitor? Why don't you just buy a TV to watch your PlayStation on? So I'm just like fuming right now, and she's like, I'm just gonna torrent it for you. No, don't do that. I have to get this thing to work. Otherwise, the fact that I just spent $100 on a Blu-ray player to hook up to my computer and $60 on the Lord of the Rings HD Blu-ray collection so that I can watch it. Otherwise, that's just pointless. And she's like, I'm just going to torrent it for you. I'm like, no, let me figure this out. Let me figure out what's going on. I just have to uninstall the program and reinstall it. I already torrented all 3 of them for you. Here they are. Here's a flash drive with all 3 of them already on it. I haven't even uninstalled the program yet. All right, let me make sure this works. Plug it in. It works perfectly. No problems.
The torrent works fine, but
Gee, what a surprise that the MP4 that was downloaded from the internet, and before you go saying anything, I've already paid for them. I've already paid $60 for all the Lord of the Rings movies, so nobody can say anything about, oh, but he's stealing. I already paid for them.
Yeah.
As far as I'm concerned, this is me just using the digital download.
You paid for them, and now you actually have a format you could use.
Yeah, what a surprise. So anyway, yeah, it was probably about an hour of me futzing around trying to get this frickin' thing to work to eventually just yo-ho-ho and a bottle of rum.
Why do they have to make it so palatable to steal?
Hoist the mainsails, me hearties. Yar. Yar. I shouldn't even say that I illegally downloaded a movie because I paid for it.
You didn't do anything. It was all her. You were absolved of the crime.
I paid for no, I'll take the rap for this one because I love my girlfriend. But I paid for it, so I don't see anything wrong with this. I've already paid for the movie. And then I was watching it on my computer, and I realized that when you rip DVDs, you have to specifically select something so that it also rips the subtitles for the DVDs. So while I'm watching the movie, anytime they're speaking in Elfish, there's no subtitles.
Bummer.
I was like, oh, all right, well,
guess I'm going on Duolingo and learn how to speak Elvish.
No, I found somebody that had done a subtitles, but only for the foreign parts of the movie. So that I just slapped that onto it.
Makes sense.
And then I realized while I was watching it that it has what they're saying in Elvish and then what they're saying in English. But for some reason they didn't orient them properly, so they're just slapped on top of each other. So I had to open it in a notepad document. I didn't have to do this. I could have just left it alone.
You could have just not learned what they were saying in Elvish and just rolled with it.
Yeah, I mean, there's only a couple parts in the movie where they're speaking in Elvish. So basically, I just went into the document. As it turns out, it's very easy to edit what subtitles are, and I was like, oh, I can write whatever the hell I want in here. I didn't know it was this easy. I could just make the subtitles say whatever the hell they want. Because as it turns out, all you have to do is just timestamp for when the subtitle starts, timestamp for when the subtitle stops, and then what it says in the subtitle.
In my version of Lord of the Rings, Legolas loves pineapple on his pizza.
Aragorn says, sit down, Legolas. Legolas is just, I love pineapple on pizza. I don't care who knows it. You guys are all stupid. And Aragorn's just like, sit down, Legolas. So yeah, thus I guess, for now, thus concludes the saga of me trying to fucking watch Lord of the Rings on my computer.
So you do have other Blu-rays, I assume, to play.
Yeah, I have other ones. I have a bunch of movies on Blu-ray.
Was that just the only one that doesn't want to work for you? Or have you tried the other ones?
Well, anytime I've watched the other ones, I watch them on the TV in the living room.
You should try to run a few of the other ones and see if they're all not functioning.
I got a new computer case.
Right.
That's what I posted about it on Twitter. I have a new computer case that doesn't have a disk drive. But when I watched Columbo, I was watching that on the disc. Yes, I watched Columbo. It's a great show. I love it. I hesitate to call it a show because every episode is like 45 minutes long.
Oh, okay.
Is that still a show?
As long that's Game of Thrones length, so Game of Thrones is a show.
Yeah, I guess it's still okay. Well, anyway, I love Columbo. It's an amazing show. Peter Falk is one of my favorite actors. What still is? He passed away, so I guess still is. is because he currently is still one of my favorite. It doesn't matter.
He's
Anyway.
still in things that I watch. So.
Yeah, he's still in things I watch. I love it. Peter Falk's great. Anyway, when I would watch Columbo, I would just put the CD into the disk drive in my computer because when I built my old computer case, I put a functioning disk drive in there because it was like $10.
And now that you have a new computer, you have an external disk drive that you just bought that doesn't seem to be able to run the things.
No, I went and returned that external disk drive today because it didn't work.
Did it work with anything else?
I didn't try anything else. I just tried that one disc.
You probably should have tried the other things to see if maybe it's a problem with the disc.
It was $100. I'm not gonna waste $100 on a Blu-ray disc player. What I'm probably gonna do, because it didn't want to work, what I'll probably do is I'll try running other DVDs in my PlayStation, and if those don't work and it's not compatible, I need to get a new monitor anyway. So maybe I'll just buy a new monitor.
One of those monitors that got a disc drive in them.
So if the new monitor still doesn't work with the PlayStation 5, what I'll end up doing is probably just buying an external CD DVD drive because those are like $20.
Okay.
I didn't want to be like, oh, I just spent $100 on this Blu-ray drive. And if the Blu-ray drive isn't going to play Blu-ray discs, then I'm not even going to bother keeping it. I'm just going to return it.
That needs to be able to do its job, yes.
Yeah. And if it's not going to do its job, then I'll just return it and buy a DVD drive for $20.
Okay.
And just use that.
All right. Well, good luck troubleshooting your problems. Did you get through one of the 3 movies last night?
I got halfway through one of them because the extended edition is 4 hours long.
Man, if only all the shows I loved and all the movies I loved had extended editions that made them twice as long, so I could just have more of the stuff I love.
There's a lot of really cool stuff in the extended edition that I think is great, but there's also some stuff in the extended edition that I'm like, yeah, I know why. I see why they cut that out.
Yeah, it's kind of boring, kind of slow.
You don't need 5 minutes, or you don't need 10 minutes at the beginning of the movie of Bilbo talking about hobbits. Like, I already know about hobbits. I've read Lord of the Rings. I've watched the movie already. I don't need 10 minutes of Bilbo talking about how hobbits really like making ale. Of course they do. They're hobbits.
Mm-hmm. I imagine the extended edition is probably the ideal version to play if it's a thing you listen to in the background.
Yeah, I can see that. There's things I like about the extended edition, and there's other stuff that like I was saying, I understand why they cut that out. Because the theatrical release is already really long.
Yes, it is.
The theatrical release is like 2.5 hours.
It's very intimidating.
But the extended edition is legit 4 hours long. Mm-hmm. I mean, how long is Gone with the Wind? That's a really long movie too, isn't it?
I would not be the person to ask about that.
Titanic's 3 hours long, I think.
Some movies are very, very long.
It was one of those movies that when it first came out on VHS and DVD, it was on... I think Titanic on VHS is like four VHS tapes. I know on DVD it's 2. Wow. The extended edition on DVD is 2. Is on Blu-ray it's 2 discs.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
I probably saw the Titanic movie at some point, but I don't remember.
I think the MP4 I have of Lord of the Rings, the extended version, is like 8 gigs.
Yeah, I believe that.
It's a big movie.
Mm-hmm. Are you a big Tolkien fan?
I would say I'm not like, because there's people that are really into it.
Okay.
There's people that are really into Tolkien.
Yeah, people that dress up as the characters, but you never role played as
no,
Gimli and Legolas.
No, I never went. I like Lord of the Rings. I'm a fan of it. I think that
I wouldn't expect you to be the medieval kind of sort. Like, of all the genres you could enjoy, this fantasy, this classical fantasy with elves and dwarves and wizards and goblins.
Well, because it's the original. That's why I like it. It's what all of the modern fantasy comes from, is Lord of the Rings.
Is it?
It's pretty much what all modern fantasy comes from. The more, I guess, like the more modern problems that arise, the more interested in fantasy people get.
Ah, the escape.
Yeah, it's an escapism because people are like, I know this is definitely true for me. Oh my god, I have to answer 50 emails today. I have to do this stuff with the YouTube channel, blah, blah, blah. I want to go back to a time where you could just bonk a man in the head with a club.
I wish I were a centaur.
It kind of is like that because people get sick of just being overwhelmed with technology and modern society, and they want an escape back to when it was simpler.
They have this idealized version of the medieval times in their head before proper dental care and everything.
Well, yeah, I mean, we're just glossing over that because it's fun.
It's fun.
It's fun to not have to worry about flossing.
Yeah.
Which I do daily now.
Hooray!
Hooray for proper dental hygiene. Flossing is good for you.
Yes, it is.
It sucks when you first start doing it.
I can't remember. I've been flossing on the regular for 20 years.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I've only been flossing regularly for about a year now. Yeah, when you first start flossing, it's like, I hate this!
Yeah.
Gums are not fucking happy about it.
I got a whole routine. I floss, I brush my teeth, I use mouthwash.
Do you use a tongue scraper?
I have an electric toothbrush to clean my teeth, and then I use a regular toothbrush to scrape my tongue.
Okay. My girlfriend actually got me a straight up tongue scraper, and the amount of gross, nasty ass gunk that's on the back of your tongue at the end of the day is disgusting.
It can get pretty gross.
It's just like so much like plaque and all this goopy stuff. Just, ugh, I don't want that on there. Get rid of it.
Yeah, that's why I brush.
Helps me not have bad breath.
And that's the story of Zach's Lord of the Rings excursion.
I got a suet feeder for my birds. I got one a while ago.
You got one a while ago, and then you gave it to me, so I've got two now.
Oh, well, I have a different suet feeder. So the one I got for you is like the one I gave to you is like a little mesh cage.
Yeah, a little hanging one.
And the problem is sparrows can very easily just go and clamp onto that.
Yeah.
And peck away at it.
You seem to have an overabundance of sparrows where you are.
There are a lot of sparrows.
And you're kind of tired of the lack of variety, so you're trying to dissuade the sparrows from eating your seed so some of the other birds can have a taste.
Yeah. It is kind of nice that I have some red-winged blackbirds that show up now, and they will straight up peck at the other sparrows. They will like try to scare the sparrows off, which I like because I don't necessarily like that. I watched a red-winged blackbird peck a squirrel to get rid of the squirrel by my bird feeder. He was like, "No, it's my turn, bitch." Just started pecking the squirrel. Anyway, I have a suet feeder that's basically like a 4x4. They tapered the top of it, so it's got a nice little roof to it. They tapered the bottom of it, and they basically drilled 4 1-inch holes all the way through it. So it's got holes drilled transverse to each other, and each one is at a 90. You got a hole drilled at the x-axis, and then a hole drilled at the y-axis, and then a hole drilled in the x-axis, hole drilled at the y-axis. And they go all the way through, and they came with little plugs of suet that you stick into them. And then under each hole are just 2 very small lines that are cut into it, so that things like woodpeckers and finches and little tiny birds like that can easily hold on to it and peck at the suet that's on the inside of it. It's great for woodpeckers because it's very much like the outside of a tree where there's not really a whole lot to grab onto. So that means that woodpeckers are encouraged to hold on to it because that's the kind of texture that woodpeckers normally hold on to.
Okay.
Same thing for like nuthatches. Nuthatches are very good at holding on to this and pecking away.
All right.
So for the longest time, I didn't see any sparrows on it. Sparrows would try to get at it, but there's not really. Sparrows have a hard time holding on to it. So the sparrows pretty much kind of avoided it until the suet got down to a certain level. So like once the birds had pecked away at the suet, so it's a much smaller plug, the sparrows discovered that they could hummingbird fly in front of it and poke the suet plug just a little bit at a time until the suet plug is sticking out of the bird feeder. Then they can stand on the suet plug and reach one of the other ones.
My goodness, that is ridiculous.
So hopefully, once that has narrowed down to a point, because right now there's probably only like 1 inch of suet left in there. Once it is narrowed down enough, I can replace the suet that's in there, and then hopefully the woodpecker will come back. But man, the sparrows are... How do I keep sparrows off of bird feeders? Do you just not?
Do a Mao and do a 4 pests campaign.
Oh man, that would make me feel bad. I like the sparrows, I just don't want nothing but sparrows. If they were Java finches, it wouldn't be so bad, because at least Java finches look pretty.
Wouldn't mind these sparrows, except they're butt ugly.
Yeah, they're kind of not pretty to look at.
But we got so many other wide varieties around here with so many fanciful colors of blue jays and robins.
I want more nuthatches. I love the nuthatch is the white-breasted nuthatch is like my favorite bird that shows up at the bird feeder. My girlfriend and I refer to him as Pokebeak.
You've got all these different breeds of bird that you've identified with your bird identifying book.
Yeah, we've got the white-breasted nuthatch. There's the yellow. Is it the yellow-bellied woodpecker?
Could be.
Or is it maybe it's the red-bellied woodpecker, which is odd because he doesn't have that much red on his belly. But there was already a bird called the red-headed woodpecker, so I guess they couldn't call this one the red-headed woodpecker because there was already one. So this one's the red-bellied woodpecker. He's pretty big. I've had a blue jay a couple times. I know there's mourning doves at my apartment complex, but they won't come to the bird feeder.
No?
No, they don't show up.
In my experience with my bird feeder, those doves, they're pretty big, pretty heavy. I've seen them on the feeder a couple of times, but most of the time they waddle around on the banister or hang out underneath it in the grass.
Because mourning doves are effectively pigeons.
Yes.
They're not too terribly smart. And they prefer to be on stable ground when they eat. They don't like to sit. They don't like to hang from bird feeders.
But as far as birds go, they're probably the most chill ones that come on by.
Yeah.
You can chalk it up to them being too dumb to be scared away by sudden movements, but I just stick them out the window, everything else flies away, and the dove will just look at me like, who's that? What's up?
You got some brave mourning doves then, my friend.
Yeah, they just don't care.
Squirrel doesn't care. I almost grabbed the squirrel outside of my, Squirrel got to my bird feeder. I almost grabbed him. I was like inches from grabbing the squirrel and yeeting him off the balcony.
Yeah.
Because I opened the door and he just stands there and stares at me with his face filled with bird seed. Get out of here, squirrel. Fuck you, bitch. Make me.
Well, I have caught 12 to 15 squirrels at this point and relocated them to a park. And in my experience, they all have different temperaments and different sensitivities.
Yeah.
Some of them I will get close to the door and they'll freak out. And then, like you said, I'll be able to get 2 inches from them and they'll still be hanging out there. No fear. Some of them I've captured and they're just shaking in their boots. And some of them I've captured and they start yelling at me and screaming at me.
I don't know what noise. I can't remember what noise they make. It's a weird noise. Yeah. They make a chattering noise.
Yeah. It's hard to replicate, but yes.
Maybe I should just get a spring-loaded airsoft gun and just pop them with it. Open the door and pop the squirrel with it.
It's a possibility.
I don't think it's nice to be mean to animals.
Right. It's just a light scare.
Stupid squirrels driving me nuts. This is how I know I'm old, but I spend time thinking about how to improve my bird feeder. Why am I so fucking... I liked my bird feeder even when I was a teenager, though. I remember getting up for high school, getting up at like 5 o'clock in the morning when I was in high school. I don't know how the hell I ever got up that early. Getting up at 5 o'clock in the morning and going downstairs and eating a bowl of Honey Nut Cheerios and watching the birds at the bird feeder. And being really annoyed because the robins would scare all the other birds off.
Yeah.